Hey, what's up? So this is an example of the desktop app I created to help you play video games in the language you're trying to learn. So basically you have these two main buttons here. Capture, we click on it. We can now select the area we want to grab the text from. And here gives you the raw text, the translation of that text, and you have the buttons at the bottom. And you can click all of these.
Всю ночь ветер скрепся окно когтями.
And it gives you the raw text, the Latinized version in this case for Russian, the most likely translation here, and gives you all the other translations, tells you it's a noun, for example. So there's two tabs here. So you go to history. These are all the words that clicked on. And if you see, for example, if we click on this,
Для.
now we got a example of it. You can click on the hide answers. So now it works like a flashcard. You've noticed Для is not on the top. So we click on menu here.
Меню.
We click out and back in. Now it's in the top. So all the last word buttons you clicked on is the assumption that you did not know what they are. These will be put on the top so you can review the words you don't understand, and the ones that you do know would be fading basically to the bottom, right? And you can scroll over these. So basically you can select your native language, your learning language, and these are the different models. So these four runs locally, no internet. This model 5, it's the one that has the most accurate results. Does require the internet, but does cost me a little bit of money when you're running it. So this model 1 is typically the most common one that works in any scenario, but there's certain backgrounds where these different color ones or certain fonts where these other ones might work better. And that's why I still added the rest of them. So this one is kind of a difficult one in the sense that you see the imperfections in the background here. So it sometimes can get confused. And the font with the capitals here is not always the easiest one for this to grab. So before I do another example, let me show you the live capture one. Click here. You select an area. Let's go ahead and do this. And this area now is going to be permanently fixed unless you change it again or you run the app again. And now with this, if you click on the middle button of the mouse, it does run it the same way as the pink capture one. So, and the reason I call it live is because if you're in a video game, there's somewhere there might be a sign in front of you, not necessarily a text prompt that's showing up. You can click on this and you don't have to repeatedly do the copy and paste with the capture. But now we have this new text in here, right? So let's see if it grabs it. So you can see here, it did make a mistake, module 1, but I clicked the middle button and it grabbed it, right? So it did grab most of the stuff. But if I change the model 5, it's likely to be without an issue. See? So this is the most effective one. So most of the time you can deal with one or one of the other ones, and this is one of the harder examples of grabbing the text. It's because of this font and the background being white and black and having those imperfections in it. So that's basically the gist of the app. You can go through this graphic novel in this case and try to read it. The other one that's pretty effective if you're trying to do some kind of game that has a lot of crafting in it. I think that's a little more friendly if you're new to the language, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of terms or a lot of words that are repeated until you memorize them, and you don't need this helper here. You move on to a more complex game. So for example, you're doing a crafting game where, say, you got to bake a pie, right? So if you want to bake a pie, you need to have the container, you need apples, you need sugar, you need wheat, and these terms in the language you're learning would be repeated multiple times until you basically memorize it, right? So if you're doing some kind of RPG, like say Disco Elysium, which is one of the games I really like, it does have a lot of text, and it's a dialogue type text, and it's not constantly repeated. So that would make more sense if you're a little more advanced in the language. But those type of RPGs where it has a lot of text for the characters, this works very well too, right? So, and everything you're doing is saved in the history. I might add the current mobile app / web app. They're almost the same into this, and have the desktop basically be one for everything. I'm not sure. I might just keep it as it is, but I'll probably make it available for download. I believe I need to pay $100 to Microsoft, for example, for allowing it to have my app without getting any warnings and so on. So it might cost me a little bit of money. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but yes, I'm liking this a lot. I'm going to be testing it with Manor Lords in a moment. So it's a new game, which kind of looks crafting, sort of city builder game. It's relatively simple. It's not finished. It's still. So I'll see how it goes. So this is a little snippet of it.